Question number 7, Dr. Megan Woods.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Did Jason Ede provide Mr. Slater with draft blog posts regarding NZSIS information?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that Jason Ede spoke to Cameron Slater, just as he did with journalists and other bloggers. I have no knowledge other than what was written in the Inspector General's report that he provided draft blog posts regarding NZSIS information.
Supplementary question, Dr. Megan Woods.
Thank you. Does he then accept that his office has a proactive relationship with Cameron Slater?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, no, and I'd point out that Mr. Ede hasn't actually worked for me in my capacity as Prime Minister for over 3 years.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Dr. Megan Woods.
Has he discussed with either his current Chief of Staff or his former Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Dejoux, that Mr. Dejoux was not happy that Mr. Ede had chosen to work through Mr. Slater rather than the mainstream media, as per paragraph 214 of the Gwyn report?
Speaker,
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The last part of the question, I haven't had any discussions with Phil Dejoux about that matter.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Dr. Megan Woods.
Has he or his Chiefs of Staff asked Jason Ede for copies of the blog posts that Cheryl Gwyn states Jason Ede drafted for Cameron Slater? If not, why not?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
To answer the first part of the question, no, I don't believe they have.
Supplementary question, Dr. Megan.
Supplementary question.
Order. Supplementary question, Dr. Megan Woods.
Why has he not asked for the draft of the blog posts?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, well, I don't think it would achieve a hell of a lot any more than if Mr. Little was to go and ask how many people write anonymously or under pseudonyms on the Standard and all of those things. He might find some really amazing answers, but that again would be the pot calling the kettle black, wouldn't it?
Order. 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 Question number 8, Materia